Who's this?
That's correct.
It's young Kwasi, I'm not going to apologise for screwing up the economy, Kwarteng. He grew up to become one of the shortest serving chancellors during the 49 days of Liz Truss's tenure as Prime Minister.
All the bonus cap did was to push up the basic salaries of bankers or drive activity outside Europe.
So I'm going to play you some of an interview between Kwasi and Piers Morgan on the issue over apologising for screwing up the economy, which almost destroyed pension funds, it cost the economy 30 billion and added considerable amounts to people's mortgage repayments.
It didn't cap total remuneration. So as a consequence of this, Mr. Speaker, we are going to get rid of it.
But first, watch this Channel 4 interview where he was asked about the issue of apologising for basically screwing up the economy.
It sounds like a mea culpa. It sounds like you've had...
I've said that. I'm not going to apologise, OK? If you're trying to get me to apologise publicly, I've said very clearly, what was done, but I don't believe in politicians who endlessly, apologising for everything that's gone in the past. I'm looking forward, and I think we could have done things differently, absolutely.
But a lot of people are looking forward to much higher mortgage rates, cripplingly high mortgage rates. Hundreds of thousands of people can't pay their mortgage bills because of what you and Liz Truss
No, that's
did.
not true. I mean,
really?
The interest rates have gone up anyway.
Now to the Piers Morgan interview. I'm not going to play the whole thing as it's an incredible 20 minutes of Piers trying to extract an apology from Kwasi and him, well, take a look for yourself.
Well, I'm joined now by the former Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng. Kwasi, great to see you.
How are you?
You've never said sorry for
what
happened a year ago, just over a year ago.
What I've said, I bear responsibility for it.
Why not say sorry?
And what I want to do is to make sure that we actually get back to a growth agenda.
What do you bear responsibility for?
Well, I think the way that we delivered it and the speed with which it was delivered was wrong. And I've put up my hand frequently and said we should have taken more time. We should have had a more balanced approach. And I've said that repeatedly in interviews. On television.
But I'm really curious why you've never been able to bring yourself to say the simple words, I'm sorry. After all the damage that was inflicted by that ruinous 44-day regime of Liz Truss, and I'm sure that you would say, and we'll come to this, a lot of it was on her.
No, I'm not here to apportion blame. I mean, that's one of the reasons why...
But if you take responsibility for causing...
That's one of the reasons why.
I get it. But if you take responsibility, why are you also not prepared to say sorry?
So basically, this back and forth goes on. And as I've said, it's for 20 minutes. Here's another clip about halfway through.
I understand you don't want to apologise. My question is why?
Because I don't think that the strategy was the wrong strategy. I don't apologise for the strategy. I just think the implementation and the way in which it was delivered could have been improved massively.
But the reality of your actions is that millions of people in this country suffered immediate financial harm. And to those, I don't want an apology from you, to me, but there are people watching this. Hang on, there are people watching this who went through genuine financial harm as a consequence of your actions. So don't apologise to me, but for them, I'm really curious why you would be prepared to look down the barrel of the camera on a show like this and not just say, I'm sorry for what happened.
What I would do is just say, we could have done things better.
Finally, we get to this half-baked apology that doesn't seem that Kwasi is at all sorry, but at least he looks uncomfortable with copious amounts of sweat dripping off him.
You're right to say, on consideration, I think you're right to say people should put their hand up, and also having put their hand up, they should be able to show some contrition. And I'm happy
sorry.
I'm happy to show that. What I'm not happy to say, and what I stick to, is the fact that as far as this country is concerned, and its wealth and its prospects, we cannot tax ourselves to prosperity.
But that's a different argument, and you're perfectly
but I made that argument for the last 50
But am I right in thinking you now,
minutes.
for the damage that the implementation caused to millions of people, you're sorry?
I show abject contrition. I'm very...
Are you sorry?
Look, whatever formula of words.
I'm just asking, are you sorry?
I'm sorry...
You're sorry.
The turbulence that was caused.
You're sorry for the damage it caused to British people.
If that's what you want me to say.
No, it's what I want you to want to say.
Look, what I want to say is that I think the strategy was right. I'm sorry for the implementation.
Are you sorry for the damage caused to the British people?
I'm sorry for the implementation, and it was too far.
And for the damage caused to the British people.
I don't know why you look. There were lots
because they suffered financial loss.
Lots of people were. But
no, but you were the Chancellor.
Okay. I was the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Are you sorry for the financial damage it caused to the British people?
I'm sorry for the damage and the loss, and it was a scary time, and I'm sorry for that.
Kwasi, we got there.
Click here for a video about Kwasi and Liz blowing up cars.